Hello, everybody. This is Stan, and welcome back to Boston Treasure Hunters. As you might have remembered from my last video, which would be part one of this one here, I dumped a whole bunch of coins into this bucket. Well, what I ended up doing is taking out what I believe to be enough that I wouldn't have to go through all of this one more time. And what I've done, I'm going to show you in just a second. What I've done is taken out the ones that I removed and actually sorted them by alphabet by country into this bin right here. And this is a really helpful tool. It's something I mentioned in part one of doing, and it actually saves me from continuously going through the coins over and over again. Even though the piles get smaller, it gets a lot quicker as I go, it's still a lot more work. This makes it a lot easier to sort through, and I highly suggest that anybody that's into roll coins consider doing something similar to this. So what I'm going to be doing is starting with the letter A up here, and then going to B, so on, all the way across. And what I'm going to do is dump that out, sort out what other countries I have, and letting you know what we have, and then matching them up against Ucoin, coming back and showing you what's going into the collection. Now, some of the letters like B, I don't think has a lot. I know like K, I believe is empty. So I'll be skipping over all of them, so it won't be like 26 parts of this, I hope. But hopefully I'll make this as quick as possible, get through this here. And this is going to be one of the last videos for the year, so definitely watch this one here, and let's see how we do. Okay, so for the letter A, this is what we have right here, and this just makes it a lot simpler for me. You can have countries like Australia, Austria, and a few other countries, maybe Argentina as well. So let me sort these out, show you what we have. I'll be right back. Okay, what we ended up with here actually is Austria, Australia, and Argentina. Big shocker right there. So what we got right here is going to be I want to say that was a 10 shilling, 5 shilling, 1 shilling. Then we have 50 groschen, 10 groschen, and 2 groschen from Austria. Down here we have Australia, which has 10 cents, 5 cents, 2 cents, and 1 cent. Then we have Argentina, which 50 centavos, 20 centavos, 10, 5, and excuse me, no, that's 10 as well, and that is 5. So what I'm going to do now is go through these here, match them up against a collection, see what we're adding, and I'll be right back. Okay, and just like that, I'm back. Here's what we're adding in. I've already removed everything that is not going in. I didn't bother showing those off like I have been before. Okay, so we have a 10 shilling, 5 shilling, and 1 shilling. All these are from Austria. Then we have 50, 10, and 2 groschens. Then down here for Australia, we have a 10, 5, 2, and 1. Only a couple of those going in. Argentina, only 2 coins going in altogether. A 10 centimos and a 5 centimos. So there we have it. Moving on with the next. For countries with the letter B, you're going to have Barbados, Bahamas, Bermuda, Belgium, things like that. So what I'm going to do is sort these out. I'll be right back. Okay, for countries, begin with B. Up here we have the Bahamas. We have a slew of different types of coins here. I didn't sort these out as well as I wanted to. There is 1s, 5s, 10s, and 25s there. Then down here we have Barbados with the quarter, dime, nickel, penny. Then we have right here 1 coin from Belize. Then over here we have, that is Bermuda, excuse me, 25, 10, and 1. Then we have Belgium with a slew of different 1 francs. And then we have the 5 franc, 20, a 1, I want to say it's a 1, and I think that is a centimes, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see if we can zoom in on that. Yeah, 50 centimes right there. Then down here we have Brazil with a 1 Cruzeiro, 50 centavos, a 10, and a 10. So I'm going to do, again, match these up against a collection. I'll be right back, show you what we're adding. Okay, so for these countries, we didn't do too bad. As you can see, there's a lot less than there was before. But we're going to start up here with the Bahamas. And, well, if I can get this to zoom in and clear up, that would be great. We had 3 here going in. All the 1 cent and 5. Then over here with Barbados, a couple 5s right there. And then a 1 cent. Then down here, we did have one from Belize, 1 cent. Down here we have, I believe this is Barbados. not mistaken, let me flip this over just to double check. Nope, excuse me, Bermuda. And we had a 25, 10, and 1. Then down here we had Belgium, which had a 1922 50 centimes, not silver, unfortunately. And we had a 1 franc, another 1 franc, another one here, a 5 franc, and a 5 franc. Then last but not least, we only got one in for Brazil, a 10 centavos, 1998. With that, I'll be back with the letter C. Okay, here are the coins that begin with the letter C. Probably going to have like Cuba, Colombia, and I can't think of any other ones right now. So I'm going to go ahead and sort these, let you know what we have, and I'll be right back. And just like that, I am back. We have 6 countries here for the letter C. Let me go over these ones up top here. These are from the Cayman Islands. We have 10, 5, and 1 cent pieces. Then we have, this was Czechoslovakia, excuse me. It's 20 Corona, 2 Corona, 1 Corona, 1 Corona. Then we have down here the Halaru. I'm probably butchering that, 20, 10, and 1. Then down here, I believe this was Colombia with 10, 1 pesos and 5 centimos. Then down here was Costa Rica with 100 colones, 10 colones, 10 colones again, 1 colon, 50 centimos, 50, 25, then 25, 10, and 5. Then we come down here, and I think I just butchered up one of the countries, because I believe that one might be Colombia. Costa Rica, this is Colombia, so the other one up here was actually, and that is Chile. Sorry, my mistake there. But okay, for Colombia, we have, let's see here, let me show you that. Right there, Colombia, and I believe that is a, 10 centimos, 5, and 1. Then we come down here, we have Cuba with a 25 centavos, 10 centavos, 5 centavos, and 1 centavos. Excuse me for a second. Okay, so what I'm going to do with these is match them up against the Ucoin database, see what we're adding to the collection, and I'll be right back. And just like that, I am back. We ended up with a few here for the Cayman Islands, which is great, a 10, 5, and a 1. Then down here we have Czechoslovakia with multiple denominations here, which came out great. Always love adding to those. And down here we have Chile, which had 3 out of all the ones I had. Then the big one here was Costa Rica. They had quite a few that went in. Not all of them, but most of them, which is great. And then down here we have Colombia, which had 2 different. I believe that's a 10 and a 1 centimes. And Cuba ended up with only one, a 10 centavos. So that's it for that. We'll be right back with the letter D. Okay, here we have the countries with letter D and E. We're starting off with Denmark, followed by Dominican Republic. Then we have the Eastern Caribbean, Ecuador, and lastly, El Salvador. For Denmark, we have a 25 or, a 10, a 5, and a 2 or as well. Dominican Republic, we have a 10 centavos, a 5 centavos, and another 5 centavos, just different design. Then the Eastern Caribbeans, we have a 25 cent and a 10 cent. Ecuador, we have a 20 centavo, 10 centavo, and 2 different types of 5 centavos. Then last is El Salvador, which is a 5 centavo and 1 centavo. And El Salvador, from what I was told, no longer even uses their own currency. They're now actually using American currency. Pretty interesting when you think of it. And if you look up El Salvador, I believe it was in April of 2022, you'll find out some really interesting facts on how they turned over one of the most corrupt countries to one of the safest. So definitely look into that. Well, with that, I'm going to check out Ucoin, and I'll be right back and show you what we're adding to the collection. And that is what's going into the collection. The country that made the most additions was, of course, Denmark with the 1 Corona, 25 or, 10 or, and a 2 or. Then we had 1 5 centavos from the Dominican Republic. All the Eastern Caribbean coins we already had. Ecuador had just the 120 centavos. And El Salvador just had the 1 centavos. And it was in 2001 that El Salvador stopped minting all coinage and switched over to U.S. currency. Well, let's move on to the next. Okay, here I am combined in multiple letters again. First one we have is Finland, which we have a 1 marker and a 1 penny right there, and a 5 marker, excuse me. Then we're coming up with Greece, which has a 20, a 10, a 5, a 2, another 2, and a 1 drachma, followed by a 50 and a 10 lepta. Then we'll come over here to Guatemala, which has a 5 and a 1 centavos. Next we have Honduras with a 2 centavos. Then down here we have Hong Kong, which has a $1, a 50-cent, 20, 10-cent, 10-cent. And last we have is Hungary with a 2 forint and a 1 forint. I'm going to match these all up against the collection and see what we have. Be right back. And here's what is left. Finland, we had the 5 mark, 5 marker, and this is actually a 5 marker as well. I thought that was a 1 penny because it's the same size and almost the same design. So yeah, it tricked me. Definitely gotta watch out for stuff like that. On the Greece, we have the 2010, a 2, and then a 1 drachma. Then below that, we have Guatemala with the 5 and a 1 centavos. And the 1 coin from, Honduras, the 2 centavos. Then we have 2 from Hong Kong, which is a $1 and a 10-cent. Then down here we have Hungary with the 2 forint. I'll be right back with the next. Okay, everybody, we're back. I'm going to do 4 letters this time here. It's going to be I, J, K, and M. There are no countries in L for this batch here, so I'm going to go ahead and sort these out and be right back. Okay, what we have here are coins from Ireland, which we have a 10 pence, 5 pence, 5 pence, 2 pence, 1 pence, and a half. Then we have right here, this is Jamaica with I believe that's 50 cents, 10 cents, 5 cents, 1 cent, and 1 cent. Then we have 1 coin here that was from Kenya, and that is 5 cents. And then we have Malaysia, 2 10-cent coins. I'm going to match these up to Ucoin and show you what we're adding to the collection. Okay, and here we go. This is what we ended up adding to the collection. We have the, I believe that's the 10 pence right there, right? Yep, 1978. Then we got a 2 and a 1. Then Jamaica, we had a 10, 5, and 1 cent. And actually, one of the large 1 cents that I have here was actually $10, but I actually had that already. And then we have a Kenyan 5 cents. And lastly, a 10 cent from Malaysia. Well, that was pretty good. At least we got something in there. Not much, but we'll take it. I'll be back with the next letter or more. Okay, this batch is just going to be the letter P. I'm going to sort these here and show you what we have. Correction, it's the letter N. My apologies. Okay, we had 3 countries here. We have New Zealand with a 20, 10, 5, and 1 cent pieces. Then we have right here is Norway with 1 krone, a 50, or 50 or 25 or and 10 or. And lastly, we had 2 from the Netherlands, a 1 guilder and a 10-cent piece. And it matches up against the collection. I'll be right back. Okay, and this is what we're adding into the collection. The 2 coins from the Netherlands here. We had both of those, so those have been discarded. We have the 20, 10, and 5, I believe. Hopefully I get that correct. See, oh, that's the 5, and yes, okay, and the 1 cent from New Zealand. And then down here we have a 1 krone 50. That is a 50 as well, if I'm not mistaken. And then a 10 and 10, or 5 and 10? I'm actually 25 and 10, excuse me, from Norway. So that's it for that. I have the coins for the letter P right here. That's why I didn't add them into them. There's a lot of them in there. So I'm going to sort those up, and I'll be right back. Okay, and I am back. And yeah, this is all just from the letter P. We have, 6 different countries. First ones up are Paraguay. We have a 10, a 10, and a 5. And I'm probably going to butcher this. Guaranis, I want to say. Probably not saying that right. Next is Panama, in which we have a quarter Balboa, 5 cent, 10 cent, 25 centimos, and a 1 centimos. Next up, we have a couple 1 pesos from the Philippines. Then we have from Peru a 1 sol, 5 sol, and 10 centesimos. Wow,
just butchering tonight. Portugal, we have a 25, 2.5, and a 1 escudos. After that, we have a 1/10 Balboa, followed by it is 20, and then a 10 centavos right there. And then lastly, we have Poland, which has a 20, 10, 5, 1, and 1, and those other Grodzkis. So there we have it. I'm going to match these up against the collection, and I'll be right back. Okay, and just like that, we are back, and this is what we ended up with. For Paraguay, we ended up with one of each of the 10 Guaranis, I want to call them, and a 5 Guarani. Then down below that, we have Panama, which is a quarter Balboa, and a 5 Centimos. Below that, we ended up with 2 from the Philippines, a 1 peso and 25 centavos. Down below that, we had Peru 1 sol, 50 centavos, and 20 centavos. Then below that, we had Portugal with 2.5 escudos, and that is actually Poland there. Sorry about that. Poland, we had the 20 Grodzki and 1 Grodzki. Then down here is actually a new addition for the countries. This is what they call an extinct state. It's India Portuguese. This is when Portugal had a section of India that they were overseeing. Obviously, it was turned over to India sometime around 1960 or 1961. But that is a new addition, which is awesome. So that was it for this part. I'll be back with the next. Next few letters up are going to be R and S. I don't think there's anything beginning with Q, so that's why I'm really not including them. I'm going to sort these ones out, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are with all the coins for the countries beginning with R and S. First, we're starting off with Russia. Up here, we have the rubles, 5, 2, and 1. Then we have the kopecks, 20, 10, 5, 5, and 1 as well. Then over here, we have Sweden with a 1 krona, a 50 or 10, 5, and 1 or. Next up is from Switzerland. We have a 20 rappen and a 1 rappen. Next is Sierra Leone with a 5-cent piece. Then we have a 10 won from South Korea. Then here we have South Africa with a 2 rand, 5 cent, and 1 cent. And then we have here from Singapore, 10 cent, 5 cent, and 1 cent. Once again, I'm going to match these all up against my collection, show you what is going in. So with that, I'll be right back. Okay, and just like that, I am back. We have 4 coins that are going into the Russian collection. We have a 1 ruble, a 5 kopeck, 3 kopeck, and 1 kopeck there. Next up, we have Sweden with a 1 krona and then a 10 or. Following that is Switzerland with a 20 rappen and a 1 rappen. Both of those went in. Following that is Sierra Leone. 5-cent piece is going in. Then we have South Korea with a 2 rand, which I said was a 1 rand before, so my mistake. A 5-cent piece, which is actually a commemorative, and then a 1-cent piece. And lastly, we have Singapore with a 10, 5, and 1 cent. The 10 won from South Korea we already had, so that was taken out. We're going to finish this up with the rest of the coins in just a second. And just like that, I am back, and what we have in front of us here is right up here. We have a couple coins here from Trinidad, a 25, 10 cent, 10 cent, and 1 cent. Followed up by Turkey with a 25 lira, a 10 kuros, and a 1 kuros. Under here is Uruguay with a 10, 5, and 1 centavos. Then down here we have Venezuela with a 10 bolivar, 1 bolivar, 25, 5, and 5 centavos. And lastly, we have Venezuela with a 10 denarii and a 1 dinar. What I'm going to do, match these up against the collection, and I'll be right back. Okay, and just like that, I am back, and we ended up with a couple coins going in from Trinidad. We have a 10 and a 25-cent piece. Follow that up with Turkey, a 25 lira and a 1 kuros. Follow that up with Uruguay with a 10, 5, and 1 centavos. And lastly, Venezuela with a 2 bolivars. The 2 coins from Yugoslavia did not fit into the collection, unfortunately, so that is going to do it.
This is going to be the last video for 2023. I'll see you again in 2024. Stay tuned because we are going to have some more different types of videos coming up, that's for sure. Probably going to do more based on countries or even continents versus whole collections like I have been doing, kind of mix it up a bit. I might do some of these, but also switch back to those back and forth, kind of mix it up a little bit. Let me know in your thoughts down below what you would like to see as far as these types of videos. I would like to definitely, hopefully get better equipment so I can zoom in so it's not so blurry all the time. And I might even do studies on certain countries as well. I've done that before, and that's been a lot of fun as well. Well, that's it for now. I hope you have a wonderful rest of 2023 and bring in 2024 with much success. Until next time, I'll see you next year. Happy hunting.